Hi, welcome back to Digital Shoptalk. This is episode 5. I'm Josh Allen with Location3.
And Porter32, Location3.
Porter32. Hopefully everybody sent him emojis after last episode. The theme actually for this week, we're going to cover a lot on display. And recently in the news, Pinterest just released a new display format called Cinematic Pins. It's an interactive visual format within Pinterest boards that users actually can control, kind of enhancing that user experience and enhancing the value for the brands that leverage it on Pinterest. And Alex, I'm sure you have a Pinterest board full of pictures of soft-shell crabs and Ray Lewis quotes and things like that.
No, I think Pinterest is more for home design and that sort of thing.
Design?
I
Okay.
did recently when I was doing a tree fort build in my backyard. I did use Pinterest to look at other tree fort designs.
Really?
It was actually quite helpful, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
No visual ads at that time, though, right?
No, I don't remember any kind of advertising on Pinterest.
I mean, the unique thing is that a lot of display is, very push focused. This is much more in control of the user, and early stats from Pinterest are showing that user control is actually increasing engagement. So still very new, but it'll be interesting to see how this kind of catches on and how brands leverage the actual format itself to create even more engaging ads. So stay tuned.
All right, so we just talked about cinematic pins on Pinterest. So now we're going to talk about something else I never use, Foursquare. Just kidding. But first I want to introduce Robin Arlen. Robin is our head of display here at Location3. So why don't you give us a quick background on what's all about Robin? Yeah.
I've been at Location3 for 2 years. Head of display, so I help develop strategy, manage vendor relationships, develop training and planning for all of our account managers. And I've been in the agency business for about 9 years now, I think.
Oh, so real quick, favorite current display tactic? If you had to pick one, just one.
Pick one. Mobile anything. I love mobile right now.
Mobile anything. I'm not familiar with that, but that sounds fantastic. But so that's actually a great segue. So Foursquare, thought to be on the verge of death as recently as a few years ago, has really been making a comeback, and they're doing it by leveraging their location data, which a lot of it is on mobile. I think probably all of it is on mobile. And some really big brands like Coors and Samsung have been jumping into this field. So can you give us a little overview of what's going on with Foursquare?
Yeah, so what they've done is they've used all of their check-in data. So a couple years ago when everybody was real big into Foursquare and checking in everywhere, they've leveraged that data to really hone in and get really specific with locations.
Okay.
So they know exactly where the Jimmy John's is down the street versus where the Cost Cutters is and all of that information. They can even know what floor of a building you're on. So for example, I believe the Foursquare office is on like the 4th floor of the building, so they know whether they're in the lobby at the 1st floor or if they're actually in the office on the 4th floor. So they've really used some really interesting technology with how people check in and where they're actually at to develop their location data. So they've partnered with Turn, DBM, and Drawbridge to leverage that data on the greater.
And those companies are?
They're DSPs.
Which stands for?
Demand Side Platform. So you can use that data outside of the Foursquare app, which is
So
really
if I'm
great.
a marketer, am I engaging with the DSP or am I engaging with Foursquare?
You would buy through Foursquare, and they have bought inventory through the DSP.
Okay. So give me an example of a campaign. I go to Foursquare and I say, I want to target what?
So it works really well for, Coors is an example where they've jumped in kind of on the ground and targeting any local bars, any could be a convenience store even.
Okay.
If they want somebody to go in and buy a 12-pack for their party.
So I'm a user. I'm in Laney's Clock Tower, and then what? I'm checking maybe.
You could be looking
ESPN.
ESPN, checking your weather, checking
Okay.
CNN, the news, any apps you have on your phone.
And then Foursquare partnering with the DSP is gonna know that, and that I'm a better target because I check into bars a lot.
Right, exactly.
Okay, and then I'll get the drink at Coors now.
Exactly.
And then theoretically,
Yep.
I will be then
Buy a
persuaded
Coors.
to change my order to a Coors. Actually, I would usually go with the Coors anyway. What's your drink of choice?
I like beer. I don't know that it'd be
Beer?
Coors, but definitely beer.
We're trying to get like Coors promo. Hashtag
okay.
Coors Banquet.
Coors Light. Then,
Very
definitely.
cool. Okay. That's really interesting. So just leveraging kind of this location, really specific content
Yep.
to understand that audience. How's it working?
So far, they've only been out for a month.
Okay.
So it's a new product that they just launched. So we'll see. But I would imagine, it's the most accurate location data that you can get right now.
Right.
So I can see it being very successful.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. In this week's upvote, we wanted to call out a great partner of ours, XAD.
XAD.
XAD, if you don't know, is a very location-specific display company. They really focus on mobile apps and geofencing and those sorts of things. They've been around for a few years now, are actually on the list of kind of top 10 pre-IPO technology firms, and they offer some pretty incredible experiences in the display world. But the upvote goes for them. Just last week was Internet Week in New York. Lots of events, lots of different things going on. XAD CEO was supposed to be climbing Everest this year, obviously with the earthquakes in Nepal that didn't happen. And he's using his technology to help support recovery efforts in Nepal. So they're going to be geofencing specific events at Internet Week. So there's going to be about 50,000, there was about 50,000 attendees there. And basically understanding, okay, where are the happy hours, where are the conferences, where are the meetings taking place, and then showing a mobile display ad inside of apps there that are driving people to Oxfam to help support and encourage awareness and donations. So really great use of their technology to support something that is obviously near and dear to the CEO's heart. So big time upvote.
Good on you, XAD. And if you haven't donated already, please do donate. Alex, I know you had a friend climbing Mount Everest. Was at base camp, safe and sound, back in Colorado.
Yeah, just very obviously personal connection to that.
Yep.
Pretty devastating, but great use of their own proprietary technology. And what better people to target than folks that are going to be at Internet Week? They're clearly going to be engaged with their smartphones, so great use of all of that. So upvote to XAD. Check them out if you haven't already.
Well, that's it for this week. Digital Shop Talk. Check us out on Twitter, #Digital Shop Talk @Porter32. We'll see you next time.
Why don't we ever give your Twitter?
I don't know.